Hello. In this video we're going to be doing an overview of full publishing in CM1. The publishing process creates files on your web server or sends the content to a distinct destination based on the publishing configuration that you've defined and the content you've approved in CM1. Full publishing can only be performed by users with the admin role. When you perform a full publish, all content that's previously been approved gets published. In addition, all theme directories get published as well. So anytime a file is changed within your theme, it will require a full publish to have those changes move to the web server. Two files are published for image assets: the main image file and a thumbnail file that is automatically generated. Asset folders that are empty will not get published. In CM1, you publish a site either to the embedded local staging server or to a remote location via FTP or secure FTP. CM1 is already configured to publish locally, but you will need to set up CM1 to publish to a remote location using FTP. And we'll look at that later on in this movie. After you've configured FTP publishing for CM1, you must set up your FTP server and your local Tomcat server to request and publish the correct content. And I encourage you to look at our help site, help.percussion.com, under setting up web servers for more information on this topic. Okay, so now let's explore what all this looks like in CM1. To get to the full publishing management view, we're going to go to the upper left-hand corner of the screen and click on the drop-down arrow here. And on the third choice down under Admin, we're going to click on the Publish link. Over on the left is going to show how many servers we have configured and set up. So the first one we're going to look at is our default local publishing. And this is going to publish the files to the Percussion directory itself, to our embedded Tomcat server that we ship with. So there's not much in the way of configuration for this. To edit this, we could edit the server name if we wanted to, but essentially we don't need to do much in the way of configuration. For more information on setting up the local publishing, I recommend you go to our help site, help.percussion.com, and there's a wealth of information there. So to start a publishing job, it's very simple. Once we've identified what server we want to use, we'll simply click Publish. And a prompt is going to come up saying that the publishing job has started. And so for local publishing, by default, it's going to be the same host name or IP address that you use to log into CM1. By default, the port is 9980 instead of 9992. And you can see here we can have a stage preview of our site here. Now let's take a look at remote or FTP publishing. And you'll notice here under driver, instead of local, I've selected FTP. For folder location, you can either use Percussion's default setup, which will build a directory structure for you, or alternatively, you can specify your own folder location to where you want this published to, which is what I've done here. And then it's a matter of just entering in the parameters for your FTP server. So the IP address or the host name for the server, and your credentials. Now you can do FTP or secure FTP. In this case I've chosen secure FTP, so that is port 22 by default. FTP would be port 21 by default. And using secure FTP, it does either require a password, or alternatively you can use a private key file. For more information on how to work with the private key file, that information is available on our help site. And we can click publish here, and the content of our site is now going to get published to this remote location via secure FTP. And you can see we can view our site here now as well. Now you've probably noticed there's a bunch of other things we can change in this view here, as far as whether we're publishing files or we're publishing to a database, as well as the format, HTML, or we can actually publish as XML as well. There will be additional videos in this series on that, and I encourage you to watch those for more information on how you can work with these. So that concludes this video.